Ciao everybody. Just getting the walking shoes on and testing the microphone situation for today. I see that the battery's gone flat, so never a dull moment with Vietnam Steve. It's just coming up to 7 in the morning and slept in a little bit today. Got to get the 5 kilometres in. So I've got a pair of walking shoes here. They are the New Balance, and I like that style because I have a wide foot, so I need to get at least a 4E. So you know, big size, wide, but they're getting a bit old, I see here, and really are old. It's not they've fallen apart. It's just age that's done it to them. We all have that problem. All right, today we're going to go down the bay. Probably going to go a different route for you so you can see some of the scenery. Let's get downstairs and get this VART underway. All right, door is closed. Let's get the roller door happening here. I'll just stay till that gets down because I like to stop it just before the bottom so that the grooves in the roller door are open, which tends to let a bit of breeze and light through. So I'll hit the stop button when this hits the ground. We won't actually concatenate the door. It'll just be closed but not jammed shut. All right, which way do we want to go? I might go this way today, simply because there was some repair work done over here that I want to see how that's gone. Got a pocket full of dong. For some reason I'm carrying about 3 million dong, so don't roll me in the street. That is a lot of dong. I don't know how that happened. Had a great night last night. We usually go to the in-laws on the weekend, and my sister-in-law's place, and actually went on Friday night. She's got some stuff on Saturday and Sunday, but she's a great sister-in-law, and she puts on a family dinner every week, every single week. Last night the feed was some sort of the main part of the feed was oysters. So we had about 2 dozen oysters, as big as my hand. Like they're real big oysters. Also had those long mushrooms, the long thin mushrooms, and they're deep fried. So anything deep fried goes down well with Vietnam Steve, and a lot of them. We also had a fish soup, so a lovely soup that's more like a vegetable soup with a big lump of fish in it that sort of permeates out through it. All of this has the little bowls, the accoutrements that go with Vietnamese food. So one of those is usually filled with fire. The father-in-law has these special chilies that are very, very small, Peruvian chilies, and they like fire. And of course, because I love congee, she made a big bowl of congee as well. And in fact, I've sent some congee home here today for. It's been sent home with me for lunch. Anyway, enough of my eating habits. Let's get into it. I've got a good one for you today. I'm just going to run through my camera setup here and all the equipment I use and why I carry this blue thing around my neck and what's that on my shoulder.
and what it takes to get a VART out for you every second day here in the land of the Rising Dragon. So stick with me. It is a good one, and it won't take too long. All right, first things first. I film everything on my iPhone 14 Pro Max. We do have an iPhone 16 Pro Max in the family, but I don't get my hands on that one. This is good to some extent in that I've always got it with me, so I can always pull it out and crack off a VART. You know, if you have to VART, you have to VART. Obviously, gets a bit shaky being held by my hand here. Got the Steve arm as the gimbal. However, I do have a good gimbal for a smartphone, but it only takes up to about 200 grams, and this phone's about 220 grams. And so it does, well, number one, make the gimbal pretty heavy, but number two, the gimbal continually has trouble balancing it. So I don't worry about it. I just throw my hand out there. It's the walk and talk VART, and we're filming this on an iPhone. Now, the only thing better than this would be one of those handheld action cams with its own little gimbal. But this is not a popular channel, so there's no money for stuff like that. The second thing that I do is I like to bring the AirPods out with me, and that's when I listen to things back to see how it's gone. Simply because sometimes you film something like I am now, it's relatively quiet around these streets, but the background noise just seems to be picked up by whatever microphone I'm using. And that can either be the iPhone's microphone, or sometimes I have the AirPods in. The AirPods are not that good because they pick up every little sound. I sometimes feel like I could have the AirPods across the street and you can understand what I was saying. And then I've got a thing called a GoCheck. Now that came with two microphones, and that's something that just plugs into the end of your iPhone and then Bluetooth to that microphone. I had two microphones, I lost one. And a reasonable sized piece of equipment, so I'm down to one, and that's this little thing here. He's quite good. He's got a few settings. The first one's just a voice setting that basic. The next one is supposed to knock out background noise, which is what I always have it on, but there's always background noise. And the third one is an echo sound, which is good for nothing. So I use that in the hope that I can get rid of some of the background noise and produce a fake VART for you of life in Vietnam without noise. And the other thing that I've got is just a stick, like a selfie stick. Now that is quite good, but it's just another thing to carry. So you can mount the camera on the selfie stick, and you can carry that, and it's a little bit further out from me, so it does look a little bit better on the screen. I like the selfie stick, and it does have a remote, so I can stop and start the recordings as I walk along, but you can edit any of that stuff anyway. This is along the main road here. A lot of traffic noise here in my ears. So, you know, my cheap microphone will be picking up that and amplifying it for you. But if a mouse farted over there at the museum, you'd probably hear it. So the selfie stick is good, but doesn't get used much. I've just jumped out with the iPhone today. I've brought the AirPods because I am going to listen to some YouTubes when I'm up at the coffee shop. I've bought the, just trying to get hold of it here. pocket full of dong, and as you can see, I've captured a 500 there. And I've also brought the door key for the house. In the other pocket here, I have a container for the Go Check. In there is a furry cover that is pretty useless. So that's how the Vietnam Steve Gold is made every day. Welcome to Vietnam.
We're at the usual location. There's a bit of action happening across there at the entertainment centre. Looks like that roof is going to be getting repaired shortly. But I just thought I'd show you the weekend treat. This is some sort of cheesecake yogurt thing, along with the traditional condensed milk coffee. So I'll sit here and have this for an hour, and then I'll be back underway.
We're back on the trail again. A couple of things I didn't tell you about that I want to let you know is that the AirPods have finally died. We're sitting at about 5 years old. If I'd known they were never going to last, I wouldn't have bought them. And so I get about 20 minutes of airtime out of them, and then I have to charge them again. And getting the traditional crackling in the left ear, which is a known problem with AirPods. However, if you don't take them back in the first 12 months, they don't help you out. So being 5 years old, probably not going to get them replaced. But needless to say, I'm 100 miles from China here. I'm just thinking, do I want to jump over this or walk around? I think I'm going to have to walk around because the old knees aren't what they used to be. Being 100 miles from China, I have ordered a $6 replacement pair from China. So the AirPods have been replaced by a $6 knockoff, and I'll let you know how they go in a future VART. I've used them a couple of times. They seem okay. They're not quite as loud. But if they last 5 years, it'll be $6 well spent. The other reason I like filming on the iPhone is that I don't have to do anything. You know, you push the red button, and even a guy like myself can figure that one out. And then the VART is recorded, and up she goes to the interweb. And then when I get home, it's all there ready for me to edit. I'm going to pause you here because I've hit a bit of wind. I've got the furry thing on the Go Check, but I do just want to see how. All right, that sounds okay for a VART that people get for free, don't have any commitment to, and haven't sacrificed $1 for. So onwards and upwards. The furry thing does help, but it falls off all the time. I'm toying with a super glue solution, and then I'll have the furry thing on forever. But we'll wait and see. So the VARTs get recorded to the phone here. They automatically get sent up to the cloud. That does its interweb magic. And then when I get home, I've actually just bought myself a new laptop. I've got a MacBook Air M3. And I just log on there. The VARTs are ready to go. I have a listen to them. I delete the ones that I think you're not going to be interested in. Put together 5 or 6 of the salient features of my my travels today, and try and put some coherence to the topic. So it's a pretty simple process. The other thing you're probably wondering is, why do I have 500,000 dong in my pocket, or 500,000 dong note, and it's about 3 million in total. The wife's been away for a few days, so my pocket's still full. Needless to say, she's had a minor operation up at the hospital. It's an interesting situation up at the hospital because she's in a room. It's actually a shared room because she's trying to save some coin. Not that I know that that's necessary. And just goes down and gets in the car and comes out whenever she feels like it. So last night she came out, we went over to the in-laws for dinner, and then she came home, got showered up, went to bed. She took off and said, I'm going back to the hospital. She went back to the hospital, and then in the middle of the night I woke up and there's someone next to me. She's come back, and turns out the lady in the room was snoring, so she came home to sleep. So, you know, interesting. And I've had a message while I've been out here on the trail that says I'm going back to the hospital. I said, that's fine. I'm having a coffee. I'm filming a vart, and then I actually have to go home and jump on the computer for 2 hours. So not much happening for Vietnam Steve there. All right. Enough of that. You're up to speed. On with the vart of the day. So my rationale for minimal equipment is I am a content creator, but I'd hate to think that I'm a videographer, you know. I'm creating content that people want to see, and it's largely around what's in the background. I actually get comments that say, could we have less talking and could you turn the camera off yourself? And so that kind of lets you know where my channel's at. But people want to see what's in the background and hear a little bit about what's happening around the streets here in Hong Gai, Ha Long City, Quang Ni Province, North Vietnam. That's a great place to walk over there. About 300 metres to go around. Do that 20 times and that's your day done. I'm heading back home now. I've been out for a couple of hours. I've done the 5 kilometres. I've spent an hour at the coffee shop. I filmed a vart for you. I'll edit this one up. I'm about a month ahead on content, but I do relent and throw a current vart in amongst the ones that I've already got lined up to go there. So not sure when you'll see this one. I'm trying to be the opposite of even Steven. I'm trying to be odd Steven and punch one out on every odd day. But I do like to put a couple of shorts in amongst all of that. And those shorts might mean that there's no vart on that day. But needless to say, there's something going up to the interweb gods. I'm making an offering to them every day. Now I will turn the camera around, just show you where I'm walking because there's a nice house up ahead here. And then I'll come back to you just before I go inside because there is one thing I want to tell you about the next vart. So I'm walking on the road, which sounds odd to Western people, but the footpaths in Vietnam are covered in things. So there's trees in the footpath for starters. Most times when we pull up at the curb, I have to dodge something when I'm getting out. It'll be a tree, it'll be somebody's put rubbish on the curb, or it might be there's just something there like a pole or whatever. So it is difficult. This big one on the corner is a nice looking place. The house is that thin one at the front, but as you can see, it's got good street frontage and it would look straight down the road, across the road there to the bay. All right, back to what's happening in the next vart. Just thought I'd go the long way home. There's not enough noise up that other street I was going up. I'm sure I can find somebody jackhammering or grinding up this street. Going to steer away from the pearls of wisdom and life advice because I don't really have any. I know a lot of you like to think about what I think about with regards to getting older, being an expat. Here we are, I've walked 1 block and there's somebody with a grinder here. Unbelievable. A lot of construction in Vietnam. Really going to just go around the streets, do a catching up with Steve, tell you what's going on in my life. I have a few things on every day. I'm out every day, and there's always something to do. I did catch up with another expat who's, well, he's actually retiring here to Vietnam in April next year. So he's on a bit of a trial run. He's 4 weeks holiday, 4 weeks working from Vietnam, and then April next year he's planning to be here full time. So that was a great catch up. I'll probably catch up with him again today. He was working last night, which was a Friday night, because he's back on US time. But I think I could probably tempt him to get some snails and beers in later this afternoon. We did have that lined up for last night, but got the SOS from the sister-in-law. Look at these nice houses here. I mean, it's just unbelievable, some of the mansions I walk past. So going forward, and this is pretty much as we run up to year end, it's really just going to be around the streets, what's happening, funny stuff I see, and I think that for me, that's more interesting for me. So hopefully that's going to be interesting for you. I have got some special guests coming to Vietnam. My sister and her husband are coming here, and I will do a couple of arts with them, because we are going to Hanoi. We are going to Ho Chi Minh City. We are going to Da Nang, Nha Trang, Hoi An, and maybe even out on a boat cruise on the bay. So if you think 10 days, think 10 things. So I'll try and get a vart out of those kind of things. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you sticking with me. It's great to know people take an interest in young handsome guy walking around the street in Vietnam. Got a, am I at the main road? I'm at the main, oh yes, got an interesting one here to wrap it up. And then I'll see you here. A lady lives in there, and I had a coffee with her right on the corner there a couple of nights ago. She had a friend over who married a guy from Australia, so we sat down on the corner there and had a coffee. It's early in the morning, no one's out there now. This is opposite the Mermaid, and I live in this street just over there. Anyway, they're opening the door for me, good. My wife's good friends with this lady, and I knew how we knew them, but I asked, how do you know her so well? Well, it turns out on the other side of the Mermaid is the, well, she calls it the dog hotel, but it's like the vet. So you take your dog there, but the dog can be put there for a week if you need to. We put our dog there, and this dog, which you can actually see across the road there now, had a bit of ABC XYZ with our dog, and we got 3 puppies. So that's the culprit right there. Thanks for coming out. And he's the father of the 3 puppies from our dog. Looks like she's off for a coffee. That's the daughter, that's not the mother. The mother's 100 like me. The daughter is young and beautiful, but let's see how she goes taking the dog on the motorbike. So he's a rascal, that boy. And made some of that sweet, sweet love to our dog, and we now have 3 puppies. That's it. Stay frosty. See you in the next one. So nothing better than coming home and having a pot of food already on the stove there for me. I've had a message through the security camera up there from my wife, who is now at the hospital, that says there's food there for me. And I've had a text message from the daughter upstairs that says, your food is in the pot, Dad. So it's great to be an expat living in Vietnam.